My sister got a $200,000 car. My brother? A $10 million mansion. And me? What I unwrapped shattered my life forever. It was Christmas morning, the kind of day that was supposed to remind you of warmth, family, and belonging. The tree sparkled with gold ornaments. The smell of cinnamon rolls filled the air, and wrapping paper lay scattered across the floor. I sat on the couch pretending to sip my coffee, but my heart was pounding. You see, in my family, Christmas wasn't just about giving. It was about proving who mattered most. And this year I had convinced myself it would finally be my turn. I looked at my sister, my brother, my parents, all smiling, laughing, acting like we were the picture-perfect family. On the surface, everything seemed flawless, but under the ribbons and lights, there was always tension, always favoritism. Still, I held on to hope. Maybe this Christmas, things would be different. Maybe this time I would finally feel seen. The gifts under the tree looked massive. Boxes too big to carry, envelopes sealed in gold, keys dangling with red bows. I watched as Dad grabbed the first set of keys, winked at my sister, and said, "Let's start with you." My stomach tightened. I didn't know it yet, but the moment those words left his mouth, my life would change forever. We all rushed outside, the cold air biting against our skin. And there it was, gleaming in the driveway, wrapped in a massive red bow. A brand new $200,000 luxury car. My sister screamed, tears streaming down her face, while Mom and Dad clapped like they had just crowned a queen. Cameras came out, champagne bottles popped, and everyone cheered. I forced a smile, clapping along, pretending to be happy. Inside, though, something twisted in my chest. I wanted to feel joy for her, really I did. But all I could think about was what this meant. If this was her gift, what would mine be? The entire ride back inside, I couldn't stop rehearsing the possibilities in my head. Maybe I'd get something similar, something grand that finally said, "We see you, we value you." Maybe, just maybe, I'd get the recognition I'd been craving my whole life. But as I looked around, I noticed something. My parents never looked at me. Their smiles were wide, but none of them reached in my direction. I tried to brush it off, telling myself I was overthinking. After all, they had always said they loved us equally. But that hope was fragile. And deep down, I think I already knew. I just didn't want to face it yet. Back inside, the living room buzzed with excitement. My sister was still clutching the keys to her new car like they were her crown jewels. Dad turned toward my brother next, and I swear for a second I stopped breathing. This was it, the moment that would set the bar for my own gift. He handed my brother a slim black box. My brother opened it, pulled out a pair of shiny keys, and laughed nervously. "Wait, what's this for?" he asked. Mom leaned in, her voice full of pride. "Not just a house. Your house. $10 million, son. Paid in full." "Right on the beach!" the room erupted. My brother's jaw dropped, and everyone shouted, hugged, celebrated like he had just won the lottery. 10 million. For a house. I clapped weakly. My smile forced so hard it made my cheeks ache. My head felt heavy, my chest hollow. I wanted to be happy for him, but the truth was, I couldn't. All I could think was, if they gave him that. What does that leave for me? My parents' eyes finally met mine. They didn't sparkle with the same pride. They didn't hold that same glow. No, there was something different. Something colder. My hands started to sweat. My stomach sank. I didn't know it yet. But what was waiting for me under that tree wasn't just a gift. It was a message. A cruel, deliberate message that would break me in ways no one could see. Finally, it was my turn. Everyone settled down, sipping champagne, still high from the shock of my brother's house. Dad cleared his throat and handed me a plain white envelope. No bow. No glitter, just paper. My heart pounded. I tried to convince myself it was something more. A deed, maybe. Or a check. Something that just didn't need fancy wrapping. I tore it open with trembling hands, praying, begging silently that this would be the moment I'd waited for. Inside was a photo, just a photo. At first I didn't understand. It was an old family picture, but something about it was wrong. My brother and sister stood in the middle, smiling, wrapped in Mom and Dad's arms. And me, I wasn't there. Not forgotten, not cut off, just missing. Then I noticed a second sheet tucked behind it. Thin, official-looking paper. Adoption papers. My name typed neatly at the top, stamped, signed, finalized, before I was even old enough to walk. I froze. My chest tightened, my hands shook. My family, all around me, clapping, laughing, sipping wine, watched as my entire world shattered in silence. This wasn't just a gift. It was a reminder that I was never really theirs, that no matter what I did, I would never be enough. And in that moment, surrounded by glittering lights and expensive presents, I realized something horrifying. I wasn't part of this family. I was the outsider, the charity case, the mistake. I don't even remember putting the envelope down. My ears rang, my vision blurred. The laughter around me faded into something sharp, cruel, like knives cutting into my skin. Everyone kept celebrating as if nothing had happened. My sister waved her car keys in the air. My brother pulled up photos of his new mansion on his phone. And me? I sat there, invisible, clutching a piece of paper that had just destroyed me. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. But all I could do was sit in silence, my body locked, my heart breaking in real time. Every memory, every moment where I thought I belonged, replayed in my head and twisted into lies. The family trips, the birthday dinners, the I love yous. None of it had been real. I was shaking. I couldn't breathe. For the first time in my life, I felt truly, utterly alone. It wasn't about the gifts anymore. It wasn't about the money or the favoritism. It was about the truth. And the truth was brutal. I didn't matter. Not to them. Maybe not to anyone. In that living room, with Christmas lights blinking mockingly in the background, something inside me broke. Not just my trust, not just my heart, but the illusion that I was ever one of them. I sat there frozen, my mind racing between rage and despair. That photo wasn't just a gift. It was a declaration, a reminder that no matter how hard I tried, no matter how loyal I'd been, I would never be their blood, never be their real child. But here's the thing. Pain has a way of transforming into something else when it festers long enough. As I stared at that photo, something inside me shifted. The tears that threatened to fall dried up. The trembling in my hands steadied. My chest, once heavy with grief, hardened into something colder, sharper. They wanted me broken. They wanted me silent. But in that silence, I started to see clearly. Every unfair moment, every time they overlooked me, every time they laughed at my expense, it all played back like a film reel. And for the first time, I wasn't the victim in the story. I was the narrator. I was the one holding the pen. That envelope wasn't the end. It was the beginning. I smiled, just a faint curve of my lips, enough to confuse them. They thought I'd accepted it, that I was too weak to fight back. But deep down, I had made a vow. If I wasn't part of their family, then I owed them nothing. Not my loyalty, not my silence. That night, while they celebrated their wealth, I began planning. Planning to take back what was owed. Planning to expose the secrets they thought I'd never uncover. Planning to make sure the world saw them for who they truly were. They broke me that Christmas morning. But what they didn't know was that they had just created the man who would destroy them. The rest of Christmas Day passed in a blur. They drank, they laughed, they took pictures to post online. Perfect smiles, perfect gifts, perfect lies. And me? I slipped into the background, quiet, invisible. Exactly where they wanted me. But inside, I wasn't broken anymore. I was awake. That photo, that cruel little envelope, had ripped the blindfold off. They had shown me exactly where I stood in their world. And now, I knew exactly what I had to do in mine. You see, they thought they'd humiliated me. They thought they'd stripped me of my worth with a single sheet of paper. But what they really did was hand me the weapon I needed. Because the truth they tried to bury, that I was never really theirs, was the very truth that would unravel everything they built. They underestimated me. They always had, and that's their greatest weakness. So I waited. I watched. I listened. Every secret, every shady deal, every skeleton in their gilded closets, I made it my mission to uncover them all. They gave me a photo to break me, but I turned it into evidence. Evidence that would burn their empire to the ground. Christmas morning was supposed to be the happiest day of the year. For them it was. For me it was the day I stopped being their victim and became their reckoning. And when my revenge finally came, It wouldn't be loud. It wouldn't be messy. It would be precise, silent, devastating. Because sometimes the best gift you can give to the people who tried to destroy you is watching them destroy themselves.